Am I allowed to say his name?
Yes,
His name is Tucker Carlson, and he is the only American journalist who has been able to interview Putin since the invasion in 2022.
Tucker Carlson is not a journalist, not even close.
He kind of just walks right into Moscow and presents himself on a silver platter to the Kremlin, doing the Kremlin's job of misinforming, disinforming the American population.
His explanation of why he's doing it, that he's a journalist and he needs to inform people, he can call himself whatever he wants. I think his work is demonstrable as not being just about giving people information. He has a point of view, and often it's not aligned with the facts.
Putin talks to an American friend, the Russian president turning to right-wing conspiracy theorist Tucker Carlson.
And it comes as Kremlin propagandist Tucker Carlson, a leading voice of the right-wing disinformation campaign, is in Moscow. Ironically, he is there in the name of keeping Americans informed, sitting down for an interview with Vladimir Putin.
Tucker Carlson is neither a journalist nor a reporter, but he has played one on TV.
What's going on, everyone? Sauce McKinney here today, and we got a doozy one for you guys. So, as you can see, mainstream media is going out there trying to, I guess, smear Tucker Carlson. He's not a journalist. To me, I don't believe in credentialism, right? This is a big talking point that I have been having, is that I believe you are what you repeatedly do. So if you didn't go to journalism school, it doesn't make you a less credible journalist as an actual journalist or a journalist that went to school, right? They're using air quotes as journalists, and I can do the same thing for them. They're just ideological propagandists, right? Because these so-called journalists that's on mainstream media, I know they have a liberal bias. I know they'll never call it down the middle. I know that they're always going to look at us as an other. They're always going to label contrary views, contrary opinions, contrary framings of events as misinformation. Right? We all know what misinformation means. When a liberal spews misinformation, oh, he just got it wrong. When a conservative's got something wrong, oh, no. He meant to do that. They always spewing misinformation. They always try to portray themselves as some like virtuous, moral people. And I don't believe that. I believe a lot of the negative outcomes that we have in our life really is due to this ideological monopoly that's in mainstream media. And then they're surprised why a lot of people are like mainstream media news websites are losing traffic to X. This is one of the reasons why. Because people are like, yo, we done with you guys trying to be the arbiters of truth. And I think this is the kind of the shocking reality these people can't stand. They can't stand that Tucker Carlson can just go up to Putin and have an interview. And one of the reasons, and I did some research when I was complaining this, because it feels like this is a battle for our perception. This is a battle for our minds. And you can feel it. You can see it. It's like they're panicking. Oh my God, we're losing credibility in the eyes of the people. How can we get it back? Let's call Tucker Carlson names some more. And instead of bringing out specifics, saying, hey, this is where he misinformed the people, instead of giving specific examples, they generalize. Which to me, if you keep it vague, then I'm going to say you have a vague understanding of what misinformation is. That's just personally how I think. Because I like examples. I like specifics. And I never hear a mainstream media hack propagandist. Because this is what, to me, if you're on the mainstream media news, I look at you with a side of skepticism. Because you're doing the same thing I'm doing right here. The only difference is you got a teleprompter and you got fancy studio lighting. That's it. There's not much difference between me and you. And this is why I don't agree with credentialism. That's why I don't let people hide behind their credentialism. They're here trying to lambast Tucker Carlson. Oh, he's not a real journalist. I don't care what he is. All I know is he gets good in interviews, and he's not scared to have conversations with people that we are deemed as you're not supposed to interview them. Typical liberals, always being passively authoritarians. Instead of being actively in your face, they passively authoritarian. Oh, don't do that. We're not banning Bibles from school. No one's telling you what to do with your body. It's just we don't allow it here. It's always so baffling to me, right? And one of the reasons why Putin didn't want to interview these people is because Putin felt like they was going to give a biased news. And it ain't. And this is the funny part about it, and I'm going to get into the next clip, guys. I know I've been talking a little bit too long. The funny part about it is Andrew Tate kind of exposed this already. I mean, I did a video on Andrew Tate, how they come in with disingenuous information, disingenuous framing, right? Come with a bunch of assumptions and conjecture, and they're looking for gotchas. And that's what Putin didn't want to deal with. Yet these same people want to lambast Tucker Carlson and act like they're the standard of journalism. Hell no. Chris Cuomo? Hell no. You on NBC? Hell no. You guys are not credible at all. You guys spread the same frame. You do everything you accuse Tucker Carlson of doing. So I rather, if you guys both do the same thing in my eyes, I'd rather listen to a guy that he has some common sense. I can see where he's coming from, unlike you who are sit there and give softball interviews to people who pushes y'all agenda. Look at the Senate. The Senate bill advanced foreign aid package. They were able to send 2/3, 66% of people voted. They were able to send their money without any border security. So we killed a bill that had border security and the $90 billion for foreign aid. So they said, hey, we're just going to pass the foreign aid by itself with no border security. Wow. They're showing you guys the priority here. And this is one of the reasons why they're going at Tucker Carlson so hard, because they're like, yo, we don't want to lose public perception. Let's pass all this foreign aid before public perception change on the war. This is why you have Hillary Clinton here talking. Let's take a look. Give my voice a break.
I mean, he's like a puppy dog. You know, he somehow has, after having been fired from so many outlets in the United States, I would not be surprised if he emerges with a contract with an outlet, because he is a useful idiot. He says things that are not true. He parrots Vladimir Putin's pack of lies about Ukraine. So I don't see why Putin wouldn't give him an interview, because through him, he can, continue to lie about what his, objectives are in Ukraine and what he expects to see happen. It's really quite sad that not just somebody like Tucker Carlson, who has, as I said, been fired so many times because he seems unable to, correlate his reporting with the truth, but also because it's a sign that there are people in this country right now who are like a fifth column for Vladimir Putin. And why? I don't know. I mean, why are certain Republicans throwing their lot in? Why are, other Americans basically believing Putin? Why did Trump believe Putin more than our 11 intelligence agencies?
I don't know. Do you have a working theory on
I do
that?
have a working theory.
You see, now you heard that. So they don't interview Clinton. They don't ask her any tough questions. Hey, so how come you weren't prosecuted for any of your documents, press secretary or whatever her name was? She was Secretary of State, I believe. How come, Biden had mismanaged his documents at home? Trump got prosecuted for the same thing. How come you didn't get prosecuted for it, Clinton? That's what a real journalist will do, right? These people who pretend that they're so much better than other people, yet they're literally doing the same thing they claim Tucker Carlson is doing. And I think that's what they're really scared of. They're really scared of that if Tucker Carlson conducts interviews just like they do with people on their shows, that is going to make Putin look favorably. And this is why I'm on this mindset like, yo, the viewers, you're going to make up your own mind about this. I'm not going to sit here. I ain't going to, like, my self-esteem or my drive does not come out, my satisfaction doesn't come out of, like, convincing you guys of doing anything or thinking a certain way. All I want to hear is information. I just want to exchange information. I'm just giving you my take as best as I can, grounded in reality and truth, right? Breaking, the U.S. Senate just voted 67-32 in favor of advancing a $95 billion foreign aid bill for Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, and Taiwan without border security provisions. How to say American last without saying American last. Republicans joined Democrats in favor of voting for the bill. Charlie Kirk here listed out a bunch of Republicans. And this is the difference between, I think, Democrats and Republicans and liberals and conservatives, is that when conservatives see people who are not doing something in their best interest, we kind of organize like organically and be like, yo, we got to find a way to deal with these people because they're not really helping our agenda, right? Matt Walsh, it's a full-blown constitutional crisis if Biden does not immediately step down from office. It has now been confirmed by the DOJ that Biden is not mentally competent. Damn, this dude is madness. Look, we have conceded that at trial, Mr. Biden would likely present himself to the jury as he is doing an interview as a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with poor memory. Based on direct interactions with and observations of him, he is someone for whom many jurors will want to identify reasonably doubt. it would be difficult to convince a jury that they should convict him. By then, a former president will into his 80s of a serious felony that was required a mental state of willfulness. So they're saying that Biden had no intention of, leaving his documents and all that stuff. But then now it proves the narrative that, hey, Biden's incompetent. He's not mentally fit to be president. What he's still doing here, right? Glenn Greenwald, I've been referencing him a lot this lately, but he's very good on foreign policy and stuff, so I follow him. They always sound exactly alike, don't they? Always reading from the same script, and then they wonder why nobody listens to them. They're brainless herd animals, and the attempt to claim only they, not Tucker Carlson, are journalists, even though they break no stories. It's just sad. It is. They're commentators at that point. They're me. I'm a commentator. They doing what I do. Yet they pretend that they have more credibility than I do. But if we get into a debate, we talk about specifics, I'm going to be able to hold my own because these people have nothing. Like, they're the propagandists. They're everything that they claim Tucker Carlson to be. And I'll even argue that that is their job. They're paid propagandists. Here's a clip that I want to show. And it seemed like PBD was highlighting a clip. And I think I resonate with that clip a lot. And I want you guys to watch it before I end off this video. Let's take a look.
1% of the population control the world. 4% of the population are their puppets. 90% of this population is a zombie, is a sleeping zombie. And 5% are trying to wake up the zombies.
Did you get
the
it?
1% make sure that the 4% stop the 5% from waking up the 90%.
Do it again. Play it again.
This is not a war between two religions. This is not an ethnic
Play it
war.
again. Okay, so pause it first. So again, we caught the first one, which was what? 1% runs the world. 4% are their puppets. 90% are zombies. 5% are trying to fight the 1% from controlling the world. And then she gives a second part. Play it again, Rob.
1% of the population control the world. 4% of the population are their puppets. 90% of this population is a zombie, is a sleeping zombie. And 5% are trying to wake up the zombies. The 1% make sure that the 4% stop the 5% from waking up the 90%. Wow. This is not a war between two religions. This is not an ethnic war. This is not a racist war. It's none of these. This is the oldest trick in the book. Divide and conquer. This is what war does. They create the division. They make sure you are racist. You're controlled by fear. You're breeding hate in order to divide so they can conquer. Do you know how a magician does his trick? So basically, he has a plan. And in order for him to do the trick without you noticing, he does this loud and thing here so it distracts you constantly. While this is happening, he slowly creeps up from behind to implement his magic trick and then magic. That's exactly what the politicians do. They are distracting us with, we are not human, it's the humans, not this color, this race, this religion, in order for them to
What's her name? Can we give her, can you see if the name is given on who this is? Can you see if to zoom out a little bit to see if there's a name to it?
Hey, I've been saying this for a while. Like the World Economic Forum, I would consider the 1%, right? These global organizations and these national globalist organizations want the world to go trend a certain way. Right. That's why for the World Economic Forum, misinformation, disinformation is their number one concern. And we all know on this side of the internet, and if you're independent, you should be well aware of this risk that misinformation and misinformation from a liberal worldview merely means anything that's contrary to what we want you to believe. If we want you to believe that climate change is the devastating crisis that we all must take top priority, and we're like, nah, climate change is exaggerated, the threat of climate change is exacerbated, they'll say that's misinformation because it goes against what their worldview, what they believe should be a priority, right? If you're in the middle, you should recognize that argument that I'm making. How can something be a crisis when, if you look at the rate of fossil fuel expansion, there's no correlation that it causes global warming. If you look at a chart, you can see that human prosperity, human flourishing is correlated with using more coal. That's why China's burning more coal. That's why India's buying more coal from Russia. And this is why they're trying to boost up their economy. They're trying to boost up human productivity because 80% of the world's power is still leveraging gas and coal and oil. Electric and solar, only 5% of the grid, and they've been around for a while. They got government incentives pushing wind and solar just can't keep up. It's not cost effective. So that means it's an inefficient way of replacing energy. You will cripple an economy if you try to rely all your energy on solar and wind. And solar and wind still uses fossil fuels because who's going to power the cars to get the materials needed to build these things? It's an interconnected system, and I think we all lack many people lack a deep appreciation about of a lot of the factors that go into producing our daily lives and allow us to be as productive as we are today in this world. And I believe the WEF leverages this up. You see this stuff, right? Our concern is misinformation, disinformation. What the hell does that mean? They always speak in slogans, like Glenn Greenwald said. They're brainless herd animals. Their job is to lead you in. They're your shepherds. They're the 4% that's trying to guide you on the behalf of the 1%. Who's the 1%? Whoever's donating to the Democratic Party, Republican establishment. These big mega donors, these multinational global organizations that participate in the WEF. They want the world to trend a certain way. Right? That's the 1%. And they tell you what they want. Hey, we think misinformation is bad. And they act like, they're so moral. They're so worried about us. No, they're not. They're worried about their control. Because they believe that they have a special place in history, that they are the ones that should lead us to, they think they're the ones that deserve to lead us to the next era. And we're like, nah. And this is the price of individualism. You have to think for yourself. You have to do the legwork yourself, because at this day and age, information is being pushed out to manipulate people to have a certain worldview, a certain perspective. And this is why I hope that when Tucker Carlson drops his video at 6 p.m., the time I'm going to release this video, that we all sit down, watch, and make decisions for ourselves at an individual level on how we take what Putin said in that interview. See it from Putin's perspective. Get in the mind of that man and see, okay, what's really driving this war? And is there really a path to peace? Or have we been lied to by our mainstream media that we trust with our knowledge to give us information, so that way we can keep supporting a bill of $95 billion to continue a war that Ukraine seemingly has been stagnant on with no progress? I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I really like to hear it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you think the Tucker Carlson interview is going to go. What kind of information you think we might get from that interview. I'll be happy to hear what you guys have to say. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.